Hi, this is Mrs. Wasserman, and today we're going to talk about the square root of numbers. To start with, we need to understand what a square root is. A square root uses a radical sign like this. And if we want to find the square root of 16, we want to know what number we can multiply to itself to get exactly that amount. Well, I know that 4 times 4 is equal to 16, so the square root of 16 is 4. This is called a perfect square. Not every number is a perfect square. The square root of 18 is not a perfect square, so we have to estimate it. It's actually an irrational number. And believe it or not, there is no number that I can multiply to itself and get exactly 18. I can get pretty close, but I can never get exactly 18. Let's see how we can estimate that. Okay. To find the square root of 18, first I'm going to put down 18 tiles. And I'm going to push them all together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a square, the biggest square I can. Well, the biggest square here is a 4 by 4 square, or 16 tiles. So I'm going to take my extra tiles and I'm going to remove them, and I'm going to replace them with a different color. So I know that the square root of 18 is about 4. It's actually a little bit bigger than 4. And so I'm going to count how many extra tiles are. There's 2 extra tiles. I'm going to make that my numerator of my fractional part. And then I'm going to take another color tile and I'm going to make the next bigger square a 5 by 5 square. And I'm going to count how many tiles there are that are not red, that are not part of my smaller square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to make that my denominator. I think that 4 2/9 is a pretty close estimate for the square root of 18. Let's take a look and use a calculator to do that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the square root of 18 on my calculator. And it comes out to 4.2426 and on. Now I'm going to square 4 2/9. So I'm going to do 4 plus 2 divided by 9. And I get 4.2222. That's pretty close. It's the same to the tens place. It's a little bit off, but it is pretty close. So that's a pretty good estimate of the square root of 18. Let's try it with another number. Let's use the square root of 30. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put out 30 tiles. And I'm going to make the biggest square I can. So this is not square, this is rectangular, so I have to make it a square. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to remove these 5 tiles, these red ones, and I'm going to replace them with blue ones. And now I'm going to make it into a square. So I see that the smaller square is 5 by 5, so I know it's a little bit more than 5. I know I replaced 5 of the red ones with blue ones, so I'm going to make that my numerator. And I know that I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 tiles added to my smaller square. So 5 and 5/11. Now let's check it on the calculator. We're going to do the square root of 30 and we get 5.77, etc. Now let's do 5 and 5/11, and we get 5.454, which is a pretty close estimate. So 5 and 5/11 is a pretty close estimate to the square root of 30.